Hi, everyone. Woo! Let's give a rousing thank you to Batala Philly. Woo! They are amazing. You know, they just played the halftime at the Eagles game a couple weeks ago. It was incredible. Yep, incredible. All right, I am Vicki Miller. I am the group leader of Indivisible Philadelphia. Thank you all for being here, all the way back to the Constitution Center they are. Unbelievable. We are big and we are strong. Thank you so much. All right, so, hello, Patriots. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. Welcome to this peaceful, joyous rally. We protest against the authoritarian regime and the takeover by this regime of our democracy. We will not allow it to sap our energy or make us cower in the corner. No, we are strong, we are together, we are resilient, and we are together today, and we will continue to be together. If you haven't come to one of these before, you will know after this, you have people with you. Many, many people with you. And some of them are here. It's awesome. All right. And contrary to some of the statements that have been made, we love our Constitution. We just want the government to follow it, right? And there's a part of the Constitution that supremely applies today. And it's written, not that you can really see it well, but there's a marble small wall in the back right there, right by Market Street. It has the First Amendment inscribed in it. And the First Amendment says that Congress shall make no law establishing religion, prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the free speech, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble for redress of grievances. And that is why we are here today. We are peaceful, but we are energized. Thank you so much. All right. So I would like to introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is Congressman Brendan Boyle. You may know him. He represents the 1st District, so farther north of Philadelphia, of course. You all know this. But he has fought to protect access to health care, reform our tax structure, and ensure that, the wealthiest pay their fair share. And protect gains by organized labor, Social Security, and Medicare. Along with Senator Elizabeth Warren, he is the lead sponsor of the Ultra-Millionaire Tax Act, which would force millionaires and billionaires to finally pay their fair share. It's been a long time. That's right. And it would protect Social Security from cuts and privatization. So he is the top Democrat on the House Budget Committee and a member of the Ways and Means Committee. And we are proud to have him join us today. Congressman Boyle.
What a view. It's amazing. This is what democracy looks like. It's amazing, from Independence Hall all the way to the National Constitution Center. You know, almost exactly 250 years ago, right behind me, our nation's founders gathered because a crazy, out-of-control, dictatorial king was abusing their rights. As a kid, I always wondered what that must have been like. I don't think we wonder about that anymore. Now, my colleague in the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, I got to be honest, I assumed that wasn't going to be an applause line. Mike Johnson had something to say about what today will be, and we're a part of, the largest protest in American history. Well, Mike Johnson had something to say about that. He called today the Hate America rally. So apparently, if you think one person shouldn't have all of the power, if you think delivering health care to those who need it, if you think that billionaires should pay their fair share, apparently if you think those things as I do, somehow you hate America. Well, Mike, I have a word to describe that. Bullshit. Now, Vicki mentioned in her introduction of me, by the way, thank you, Vicki, and thank you for everyone who helped organize today. Amazing. Vicki mentioned that my job in Congress is that I am the lead Democrat, the ranking member on the Budget Committee. And so you're going to hear from a lot of great speakers. We're going to speak on all sorts of issues. I want to take this opportunity to educate all of you on what the Republicans have done with their big tax bill so that each and every one of you can be deputized to take this information and just tell 5 other people, family members, friends. You have a lot more of a voice and a lot more power than you may realize. And I'm sorry, I know we're in an era in which people tell us facts don't matter, but I disagree. They still matter. So, does anyone remember, and I also think this will not be an applause line, the One Big Beautiful Bill? Three months ago, right before 4th of July, Republicans in Congress passed a bill. And here's what it does. Not according to me, not according to any partisan source, according to the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, which is headed, by the way, by a Republican appointee. It delivers the largest tax cuts in American history that mostly go to the top 1% in this country. And it is partially paid for by the biggest cuts to health care in American history. Again, not according to me, not according to any Democratic source. According to the nonpartisan CBO, 15.1 million Americans will lose their health care because of that Republican bill. So that's if you're on Medicaid, you're on Medicare, you're on Obamacare. But for those, the 160 million or so Americans who have their health care through private insurance, you're worse off as well. Because for tens of millions more, your health care premiums are about to skyrocket. Just this week, it was announced here in Pennsylvania, the average premium increase if you're on an exchange, 102%. Taking money from the poor, taking money from working Americans to give it to the very rich. That's what their agenda is about. So when people ask, why is the government shut down the last couple weeks? What is it about? It's about a number of things, but make no mistake about it, it's about saving the health care of the American people. We have to win this fight because our health care is on the line. Make no mistake about it. This is not a joke. This is not an exaggeration. This is not some social media creation. 15 million Americans losing their health care. Do you know, not even in the Great Depression did that many people in this country lose their health care. And yes, that is bullshit as well. Now, this, to be clear, I like that name better of the bill. It certainly is more accurate. To be clear, this is a fight because I know that a lot in the media and a lot of others have questioned, should Democrats fight back? Hell yes, we should fight back. Hell yes. And we need every Democrat in Congress and both senators from this state to stand with us in this fight. So look, this is a very troubling time, to say the least, in our country. The fact that all of you are out here is the greatest advertisement for democracy and free speech and our constitutional rights we could ever make. It's one thing to be down and depressed and check out. That's what they want. This scene must scare the hell out of them. Looking at this scene today, I am more confident than ever that we will ultimately, just like we did 250 years ago, rebel against the mad king and defend democracy in America. Thank you.
All righty. Our next speaker is Mike Lee from the ACLU PA. Mike is great. He joined the ACLU of Pennsylvania as Executive Director in 2024. He's born and raised in Philadelphia, and he served for 6 years in the administration of District Attorney Larry Krasner as Director of Government Affairs, Supervisor of Adult Diversion, and Chief of Staff. Mike founded and served as Executive Director of Philadelphia Lawyers for Social Equity, a nonprofit legal aid that helps Pennsylvanians expunge their criminal records, a program that would later become a model for Pennsylvania's clean slate law. Mike, where is he? Here he is.
Thank you. Yo, Philly! Louder! Liberty and justice for who? For who? For who? That's what I'm talking about. As you heard, my name is Mike Lee, and I humbly serve as Executive Director of the ACLU of Pennsylvania. I'm here today full of hope that a more fair and just life that healthy democracies provide is within our reach. You know how I know? Cities and states like Philadelphia, like Pennsylvania, have always been part of something we call Firewall for Freedom. It's our protection from overreach, from fear, from isolation, from tyranny. The birthplace of our Firewall for Freedom, called the Constitution, was written just in front of you. but the ideas of the Constitution live in each inside of every one of us. The Liberty Bell, let the firewall of freedom ring with our justices. And right now, we, the people, are exercising our First Amendment right as part of the firewall. We're exercising our right to assemble, to pray, to love who we want, dissent when we disagree, report on the news, hold government accountable. That's all part of the firewall. When we the people vote, like I know everyone's going to do on November 4th, when we vote, we stand up for our firewall and our freedoms. This November, 3 justices are on our ballot. So make sure you tell 4 of your friends to vote. At the ACLU, here in Pennsylvania and across the country, as part of our Firewall for Freedom, we filed almost 200 legal actions against the Trump administration. $22 a month, and we're willing to double that for our freedoms. We've been doing this for over 100 years, standing up to abuses of power, standing up to government overreach, and we're going to do it for 100 more, because who is liberty and justice for? Who? Now, finally, an important part of our firewall is understanding how we got here. Just over in this corner here to my left, there sits a president's house, a testament to how we got our country built, whose labor was used and abused. There's some people who want to cover that up, and you can try. You can try to hide our truths with the passage of time, with lies, with biases, with soils. But just like Avenging Our Ancestors Coalition dug up the truth and put it for all of us to see, we're going to do that for democracy. So when I say free, you say speech. Free? Speech. Free? Speech. Free? Speech. Make sure y'all vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Hi again. All right. Our next speaker is Congressman Jamie Raskin. Right? Congressman Raskin represents Maryland's beautiful 8th District. And he wrote this just now, so we know it's true. Maryland's beautiful 8th District, and he is ranking Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee. A former professor of constitutional law, he was the lead House manager in the second impeachment of Donald Trump for inciting the insurrection, yes, against the Union. He also served on the House Select Committee to investigate the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. So we already remember those days. One of Jamie's books, We the Students, was recently banned in Texas by the State Board of Education. And the same week, he was banned for life in Russia by Vladimir Putin for his pro-Ukraine activism. I would say that's a badge of honor. Please welcome Congressman Jamie Raskin from the Free State.
Hello, Philadelphia! America thanks you for crushing tyrants since 1776. We've come to the city of brotherly love to show our love for America. I heard Speaker Johnson talking about a Hate America rally, but that one already happened on January 6th, 2021. That mob injured and wounded more than 140 of our police officers. So we say to Speaker Johnson, stop slandering our joyful, nonviolent democracy movement and stop projecting your shame and guilt on us. We're in Philadelphia, where America was launched, where Thomas Jefferson denounced King George's long train of abuses leading to absolute tyranny. We're here in the city where we declared our independence from all the royal crimes against freedom that Jefferson itemized in the Declaration. Remember them? King George, he said, sent swarms of officers to harass our people in the streets. Sound familiar? He kept amongst us in peacetime standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He cut off our trade with all parts of the world and imposed taxes and tariffs on us without our consent. He obstructed laws for the naturalization of foreigners and refused to pass laws to encourage their migration here. He tried to make judges dependent on his political will alone. And that's why we had a revolution 250 years ago. We created a society without kings who claimed to derive their absolute power directly from God. Our founders instead set up a government that derived its power from the consent of the governed, to protect the unalienable rights of the people and to promote the general welfare. Here, that model citizen, Ben Franklin, created the post office, the lending library, public parks, and the volunteer fire department. All things that MAGA would be denouncing and defunding as woke socialism today. Franklin didn't create these institutions as temples to his own glory. A man of vision who also invented the bifocals, he built these things to instill in Philadelphia and in America a devotion to democratic freedom and progress for everyone. During his 59 years on the throne, Mad King George invented nothing, he created nothing, and he spread nothing but tyranny, fear, and war. Kings do not invent, kings do not create, they steal and they destroy. And that's why we've got no kings here. In this city, James Madison and the framers wrote behind us the world's first democratic constitution. Their purpose was not to create a government that would enrich the president and his family, but a government that would promote the common good of all. The preamble began with those three magic words, not I the king, but we the people. We the people, the only source of all legitimate sovereign power. Our framers overthrew the king. They wrote an anti-king constitution. Article 1 put all lawmaking power in a Congress elected by the people. And Article 2 defined the job of the president as this: to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. Not thwarted, not diminished, not ravaged and rewritten, faithfully executed. The framers got rid of the kingly power to control political expression. They safeguarded the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, the freedom of assembly, and the right to petition government for a redress of grievances. The King of England was also the head of the Anglican Church, and everyone had to belong, but the framers separated church from state and guaranteed free exercise of religion, no establishment of religion, and no religious tests for public office. They banned titles of nobility. They separated the private businesses of the president from affairs of state by banning anyone in government from accepting bribes, presents, emoluments, payments, and titles from foreign kings, princes, or states. That's against the law in America. We say to President Trump, all of those of us who aspire and to attain to public office are nothing but the servants of the people in America. The moment that any of us thinks that we're a king or a queen or an emperor or lord, that is the moment to evict, eject, reject, impeach, try, convict, remove, disqualify, and start all over again. All we say to President Trump is, do your job. President Trump, you are not our king, and we are not your subjects. We will never be your subjects. We don't have a supreme leader here. We have a supreme constitution here. If you don't like the laws Congress has passed, quit your job and run for Congress to try to pass different laws. But you don't get to make up your own laws, Mr. President. You don't get to trash the real ones. And this is why you've been sued more than 400 times, and you're losing overwhelmingly in district courts and in circuit courts, both among Democratic and Republican nominated judges. We concede that you have stacked and packed the Roberts Court, which must wake up out of its stupor and recall it's their duty to enforce the Constitution, not to grant the wishes of a lawless president. And so we say to the Supreme Court, do your job. And don't forget to vote to retain those Pennsylvania judges who are doing their job. Mr. President, you've been illegally firing our professional civil servants, the people who take care of our veterans, the people who track infectious diseases, the people who rescue communities hit by natural disasters, the people who protect us from financial scammers like George Santos, the second most successful con man of all time. You've been gutting programs that support K through 12 special education. You've been gutting cancer research and climate science. You just commuted George Santos's 87-month sentence, and you forgave $374,000 in restitution he still owed his victims, and now you're threatening not to pay furloughed federal workers. If anyone should not be paid their salary for the last month, it's Speaker Johnson and the Republicans in Congress who have shut down the Congress and who have fled Washington to take a month-long vacation, and they're not having any town halls because they're afraid to face their own constituents. We say to the Republicans, get back to Washington, restore the people's health care, reopen the government, rehire the workers you fired, swear in Adelita Grijalva, and do your job. Do your job. Mr. President, you're giving billions of dollars to autocrats in Argentina. You've launched a stupid trade war against Brazil to bail out your insurrectionist buddy, Bolsonaro. You're hiring January 6th insurrectionists who called on rioters to attack the police to come work at your Justice Department, and you're waging war on American communities with people who take $50,000 cash bribes in Cava takeout brown bags. Mr. President, like your Secretary of HHS, Mr. Kennedy, I'm no doctor, but your administration has a serious staph infection. You spend the public's money gold-plating your palace and building a new Marie Antoinette ballroom to entertain the CEOs and the billionaires and the oligarchs while you cut programs that feed children. You send our troops to invade our own cities so ICE agents can drag tackle, beat, tase, and terrify people in the middle of the night. You say you're pro-free speech, but you use the levers of power to shake down our universities and colleges, to control their hiring, their admissions, and their courses. You try to bar thousands of lawyers from entering federal buildings and courthouses because you don't like something one of their colleagues once said. You maneuver to get Jimmy Kimmel fired, and you try to get the NFL to fire Bad Bunny. You know, and anytime public officials try to use the government to actually help our people with Social Security or the Affordable Care Act or Medicaid or housing, you call them communists. But that's a weird projection, Mr. President, because your best friends and political heroes are all communists. You adore Kim Jong-un, the communist tyrant of North Korea, who said you fell in love with him and with whom you've exchanged dozens of love letters. You love President Xi, the head of the Chinese Communist Party, whom you call smart and brilliant because you say he rules his people with an iron fist, and your heartthrob idol is Vladimir Putin, the communist bureaucrat and KGB agent turned gangster capitalist and war criminal who called the dissolution of the USSR the greatest catastrophe of the 20th century. Those are your friends, Donald Trump. And like all these dictators, you want a centralized command economy where you control and you shake down the broadcast media, big tech, the universities, the businesses, and the law firms, and where you personally anoint all the winners and losers in your corporate state. You've already put more than $3 billion in your pocket since January, and you want a small group of loyal billionaire oligarchs to run our economy, and we say no way. I've got a message from a 5-year-old in my district who wanted me to bring this message to Philly, to Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, you are not the boss of us. Americans are not afraid. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. Disney realized that it had more to fear from public boycotts than from your anti-comedian shakedown. So Jimmy Kimmel is back on TV, more popular, and I think even funnier than he was before. Under our First Amendment, we've always had the right to make fun of our politicians and our presidents. We've got a First Amendment in America. The NFL knows that millions of Latino Americans are part of their audience, that Puerto Rico is part of America. And it will be a state soon. That's coming. And so the NFL is not going to go with MAGA. It's going to go with Bad Bunny and the vast majority of America. I'm sorry to break it to you, Donald, but America is just stronger than all the tyrants put together. Franklin and Jefferson and Madison, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Susan Anthony, FDR, JFK, Dr. King, Rosa Parks, Cesar Chavez. They created a country that will always resist you and will outlast you. And even the people who voted for you are turning on you now. You said you'd solve inflation on day one. Did you think we'd forget about that? The price of groceries, of housing, of healthcare is through the roof. And now you want to make it even harder for people to get healthcare. You know, life expectancy in America increased by more than 30 years in the last century, from 47 years old to 77 years old. And the three major factors were vaccines, clean water and clean air, and antibiotics. And your administration is waging war on 2 out of the 3. My friends, FDR said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So our job now is to spread the magnificent courage of these rallies to get people to remember who we are. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. The millions of people you see protesting across America are going to be the millions of political organizers next year. My friends, all over America, young people are quoting from Nemec's manifesto in Andor, part of the Star Wars series. Here's what Nemec said. There will be times when the struggle seems impossible, alone, unsure, dwarfed by the scale of the enemy. But remember this, freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. And then remember this, the imperial need for control is desperate because it's so unnatural. Tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks, it leaks. Authority is brittle. Oppression is just the mask of fear. And know this, The day will come when all these moments of defiance will have flooded the banks of the empire's authority, and then there will be one too many. One single thing will break the siege. Remember this, try. And that's the spirit also of Alexei Navalny, who died fighting for freedom in Russia. And writing from one of Putin's filthy prisons, Navalny said this: "We must do what the tyrants fear the most. We must tell the truth. We must spread the truth. This is the most powerful weapon against liars. Everyone has this weapon, so make use of it. Don't be afraid of anything. This is our country," he said, "and it's the only one we have. The only thing that we should fear is that we will surrender our homeland without a fight to a gang of liars, thieves, and hypocrites." Alexei Navalny. My friends, a great Marylander, Frederick Douglass, said, "If there's no struggle, there's no progress." And the struggle may be moral, it may be physical, it may be moral and physical, but there must be struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. Fascism will not be the end of American democracy, my friends. American democracy will always be the end of fascism. I will leave you finally with the words of the great Tom Paine, who arrived in Philadelphia in 1774, 2 years before the American Revolution. He wrote the great pamphlet of our history, which ignited the American Revolution, Common Sense. In 1776 was a tough year. Don't kid yourself. Half the people running around saying, you can't beat the greatest empire that ever existed. You can't beat the kings and the queens and the lords. But half of the people said, let's give it a try. Let's fight for freedom and democracy. Let's pledge to each other our lives, our property, our sacred honor. But anyway, Paine wrote another pamphlet that year called The American Crisis, and I want to quote a little passage for you. I'm going to update the language pursuant to strict instructions from Nancy Pelosi, who said Paine was a feminist and he wouldn't mind so as not to offend modern sensibilities. But he said, these are the times that try men and women's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will shrink at this moment from the service of their cause and their country. But everyone that stands with us now will win the love and the favor and the affection of every man and every woman for all time. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, but we have this saving consolation. The more difficult the struggle, the more glorious in the end will be our victory. Let's make that victory ours, Philadelphia. Thank you. Happy No King's Day.
Hi, we're just going to take a photo really quickly of the entire panorama of all of you, and then we'll continue. Thank you so much. Yeah, they're there. The medic is going right now. Yeah. Thank you.
They need more help. They're calling for more help. I think he's having a heart attack. He's right here. Call
Yeah, 911.
Just to hold up where it is for the medics know where to go. Hold that up.
Hold it up high.
Hi, all. You can stop chanting now. Thank you. We have a medical issue right here. The medics are taking care of it, but as soon as that's stabilized, then we're going to start again. All right. The gentleman has been taken to get care, and we're all good. So thank you for all of the helpers. The helpers just showed up right away. It's phenomenal. Thank you. All right. Our next speaker is Danny Bowder. He is the president of the Philadelphia AFL-CIO. He is the fourth president of that union, representing over 100 local unions and 150,000 union members in the Philadelphia area. Prior to being elected president of the council in 2022, Bowder served as the council's campaign manager for 8 years. He is a third-generation union member, advocate for working people, and a lifelong activist. Danny.
Now that the EMT's here, he's trying to find that guy.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Philadelphia! Thank you, Vicki, for that kind introduction. I'm so happy to be here in my home in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. No kings means no kings! It's that simple, folks. 250 years ago, we shook off King George, only now to have our U.S. Supreme Court attempt to bring the monarchy back in Donald Trump. That's right, you boo that man. That's right. Donald Trump is a fascist, and he has brought an authoritarian and brutal ideology to America. It is not a question of if, but when his goons will descend on our city. But we are stronger than they are. We are stronger than the billionaires and the bad bosses and the wannabe kings. We are stronger than the billionaires. We're stronger than Elon Musk. We're stronger than Jeff Bezos. We're stronger than Jeffrey Yass. No kings in the White House and no kings in your workplace either. Donald Trump's not the only wannabe king in this country. Every boss that denies your PTO, who calls you when you're sick just to make sure you're really sick, who puts their profits over you, your health, your safety, your well-being, is a king in training, and we say no kings. Yeah, those kings in training, the Whole Foods bosses bullying workers trying to organize a union, the bosses at Starbucks trying to close down the union shops, the Republicans in Washington and in Harrisburg that have grind our democracy to a halt. They're part of the problem just as much as Trump is. And we say no kings! All workers deserve dignity and respect on the job, not to be exploited and abused for the bottom line. Private equity firms that are destroying our healthcare system, no kings. For-profit health insurance companies that deny your claims, no kings. Your boss who harasses you and denies you the ability to use the time that you earned, no kings. No kings in the White House and no kings in the workplace. Yeah, you want to fight back against the kings? This is a great first step, and we're going to fight back in your workplace too. That's where we're going to start this fight. Let me be very, very clear, folks. If you don't have health care, if you don't have access or a decision in what your health care is, your sick time policy, your time off, your retirement, access to education, do you really have freedom? Do you really live in a democracy if you don't have control over any of those basic things? Then let's fight against fascism. Let's fight against authoritarianism. And let's fight against those kings by starting in our workplaces. There's no better way to kick the kings out by the workers organizing and demanding a real democracy in America. Here's the truth. The kings, the billionaires, the bad bosses, they're all bullies. And they're all scared shitless of us. We are coming together to fight back, and we're the many and they are the few. This is such a beautiful thing to see all of these people together for this march today. It's a wonderful thing to see all the way back to the Constitution Center, the thousands and thousands of us that are here. This is a great way for you to start becoming an activist. We need to dig deep. We need to do more. We need more marches. We need more rallies. And we need to start doing them, not just on Saturdays when we are off, but on Mondays, on a random Thursday night. We need to disrupt and stop and push and make those in power uncomfortable. We won't stop until we win, and we will win. Look, at heart, I'm a union organizer, so I can't speak or talk to any sort of a group without some sort of call to action, without some sort of an ask. It's just how we're trained. So I want to ask you, all of you here, you work for a bad boss, tell us about it. Go to bit.ly/organize-today. Or if you saw the signs that we had posted up on the march route, join the labor movement. Join us in our fight. We say, no billionaires, no bad bosses, no kings. No kings. No kings. No fucking kings. Solidarity forever.
All right. More photos. All right. So they are supposed to be posting up on all of the video walls, if you can hear back there. While I'm introducing someone, we have a graphic that says vote yes. I just have to bring it up. November 4th. We have big, big elections. We must vote yes. Thank you for the sign. Yes, there we go, right? Vote yes, November 4th. A, make sure you go vote. B, make sure you vote yes to retain our judges. It's enormously important, especially the Supreme Court and the other statewide, the Superior Court and the Commonwealth Court. Enormously. Billionaires are putting tons of money to get people to vote the other way so that they can control the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. We cannot let that happen. Thank you. That's my little spiel. That's why those are up there. Thank you. All right. All right. Our next speaker is Congresswoman Madeleine Dean. Yes, sirree. So she was born and raised in Glenside and got her start in politics around the dinner table with her 5 older brothers and 1 older sister. This is my favorite story. She graduated from Abington High School. At the age of 18, she won election to serve as a local committee person. At the age of 18, she was already figuring out how to serve. I just love that. Anyway, she was born into Congress in 2018 and is part of the most diverse freshman history class in history. She brought female representation back to Pennsylvania, which is really stunning. She advocates for champion forward-thinking policies such as education, universal access to health care, gun safety, and ethical government to support the lives of her constituents. She was an impeachment manager in the second impeachment of Trump, of course. She also was a professor of rhetoric and writing at her alma mater, LaSalle University. Yes, and a member of the PA House of Representatives for 6 years as well, in the seat formerly occupied by Governor Shapiro. All right, Congresswoman Dean.
Wow. 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 Boy, oh boy, does Philadelphia show up. This is fantastic. You are fantastic. But first, let's give it up for Danny Bowder, who just spoke on behalf of Labor. Thank you, Vicki, for that nice introduction. And I'm here with one of those brothers, my brother Bob Dean. We did have arguments around the dinner table. I'm the youngest of 7, big Irish Catholic family in suburban Philly. You know how it goes, some of you. I have the privilege of being Congresswoman for the 4th Congressional District, which is Montgomery and Berks counties. Okay, we got some 4ths out here. And so it's a privilege, hello, how are you? It's a privilege to hold that office, but I'm reminded much more of something else. If you remember, and I'm impressed with all of you, if you remember, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Felix Frankfurter said, in a democracy, the highest office is citizen. Am I right? We hold that highest office, and that's why it is so cool to see this office filled with citizens right here on Independence Mall, right here in front of Independence Hall. Think of it, we are here at the birthplace of our democracy, of our Constitution. Lucky Philadelphia, we're here fighting to save those things. Think about it, 250 years ago, right now, 250 years ago, right now, Thomas Jefferson, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Would you allow me to finish speaking? Yes, how do you do? Ed, how are you? I care about that issue too. If you would allow me to finish speaking. Thank you. 250 years ago right now, 250 years ago right now, I'm going to try to speak. This is supposed to be freedom of speech sometimes. And I want to say, I know what this gentleman is fighting for, and he's not wrong. He wants to end the suffering in Gaza, and so do I. "250 years ago, Thomas Jefferson and the authors of the Declaration of Independence made a list of 27 grievances about a king 2.5 centuries ago. And you remember Mark Twain said that history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So listen to this. Here are just a handful of those 27 grievances listed 2.5 centuries ago. George, King George, he has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. We hear anything like that today? He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent of laws for establishing judicial powers. Think of demonizing the courts, belittling the judicial branch, and weaponizing the DOJ against his perceived enemies. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of the legislatures. Do you hear that happening again? One of the grievances against the king at that time was for cutting off trade with all parts of the world. How about Mr. Trump's incoherent tariffs on our closest allies and igniting an all-out trade war with China? Another grievance from back in the day, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally our forms of government. Think of the executive order after pardon, taking away the authority of Congress, for example. He has excited. Vicki, indulge me, I'm going to do a picture. But you can bring up whoever's next. Smile pretty, here we go. You're beautiful.
All right. So, our next speaker, and thank you, Congresswoman Dean, so much. Our next speaker, is Nina Coffey. She is the Secretary Treasurer of SEIU Local 668, So, Local 668 is Pennsylvania's Social Services Employees Union, representing 20,000 employees in all counties in the state. They work in state, county, and local government and in the private sector. They deliver human services to the most vulnerable populations, including children, elderly, and people with disabilities and mental illness. These are social workers, caseworkers, school psychologists, nutritionists, the people who help us. These are the helpers. Nina, thank you. Nina Coffey.
This is an incredible sight, y'all. I just want you to know that. Power belongs to the people and not kings. Good afternoon, and I'm just so excited to be here with all of you guys. It's a wonderful moment to be here as we're all standing in solidarity on this No Kings Day. And I just want you to know, we have an incredible turnout, but that's not here just in Philadelphia. I've been seeing images from Pittsburgh, State College, Allentown, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Harrisburg, and we are all showing up because we know what is at stake. No kings And it's not just the slogan. I love y'all, I love the energy. But yeah, it's not just a slogan. It is a reminder that no one, not a president, governor, or court, is above the people. And there is so much at stake right now. When they cut Medicaid, they were cutting into our very lives. Right now, I'm sure many of you are aware that we have families across Pennsylvania that are feeling the real squeeze. The cost of living keeps rising. Food, rent, childcare, services for our elderly, healthcare, yes. And at a time when people need help the most, Trump and Republicans in Congress decided that it would be better to cut funding for Medicaid, something that would help the most vulnerable. I feel the same way. And now, because of the federal government shutdown, many people learned yesterday that with the delays in funding for our SNAP program, people here in Pennsylvania are going to see delays for their SNAP benefits. That's a program that helps those who are vulnerable be able to afford food. Thank you. We get it. This isn't something that's just theoretical. This is real. These are our neighbors, and these are our co-workers. We don't measure a society by how it treats its rich, but by how it treats those who are struggling the most. I'm a proud SEIU union member. I love my union. And we have a saying, when we fight, we win. As a union, SEIU shows exactly what solidarity looks like. When one of us attacked, we all feel it. And we don't just talk about justice, we build it from the ground, in our shops, floor by floor, bargaining, and by going to the table and demanding that we are treated with dignity, respect, and paid the wages that we deserve. Our power doesn't come from the top. It comes from standing shoulder to shoulder with one another. And so I want everybody to know, we don't just protest, we organize and we win. Now, protests, they matter, but it doesn't stop there. We have to make sure that we connect these moments, these actions that we're doing all across the country, the world, in fact, and that we connect them with elections, with organizing, with building power. I love it because I'm here and I was getting to it. And vote! Now, I know y'all done heard it mentioned a couple of times, but we got a big election coming up November. And our Pennsylvania Supreme Court, we have to protect it. It is a second line of defense. November 4th. Make sure you put it in your calendars. We're going to make sure that we vote yes and protect those 3 seats. Christine Donahue, Kevin Doherty, David Welch. This is not a passive process, and it's not someone else's fight. It is our fight. And if we lose this court, if they flip those seats, the judges who have been protecting us all along, we can kiss it all goodbye. And I don't want to see that. So here is what I am asking for everyone that came out today. When you fill your ballot out, flip it over and make sure that you vote yes. Vote yes for justice, democracy, for working people, for yourselves. And I don't have to tell y'all this, but no one is just going to hand us democracy. We have to take it. So I want to leave you with this, right? These are tough times, and we are all feeling the squeeze. But we can also see something else. People rising, resistance and solidarity. Today here in Philly, we are standing together. We will be loud and we will be visible. But we will also take this energy into the precincts, into our elections, and into our contracts. So, I gotta ask, because if you know you in the union, we always gotta ask when we show up somewhere. First, you got a cell phone, and I know almost everybody here has one. I want you to take it out, and I want you to text something real simple, PA Courts, to 30403. This is going to get you more information about ways that you can actually get involved with this upcoming election, or maybe you just want to be a poll greeter. Make sure that nothing crazy is going on outside. But if you text PA Courts to 30403, they will send you more information. Because again, no one is going to hand us democracy. We have to demand it, we have to build it, and we will build it together. So now, y'all, I don't get opportunities like this very often. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at least 25,000 patriots here. Yes. So don't leave me hanging on this one. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Go Birds.
All right. So our next speaker is Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon. She represents some of you who live in way South Philly and in the counties, represented Pennsylvania's 5th District in the House of Representatives since 2019. She currently serves on the House Rules Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, and serves as a ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee's Subcommittee on the Constitution and Limited Government. She also chairs the House caucuses on access to legal aid, youth mentoring, and foster youth. We are honored to have you, Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon.
All right. Hello, all you beautiful, dangerous patriots. I am honored to join you, proud patriots from Pennsylvania and beyond, here at Independence Hall to stand up for our freedoms, to stand up for democracy and the rule of law, and in opposition to the rule of one, Donald J. Trump. What better place to shout to the skies that we will have no kings than here in Philadelphia, where our founders gathered and laid out the reasons why we say no to petty tyrants. This isn't a movement of a day or a season or a decade, and there's no better reminder of that than the building behind us. As we stand here on the eve of the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding, and I'm overjoyed to see all of you, along with millions of Americans all over this country, in big cities, in small towns, at more than 2,700 rallies in 50 states and beyond. Rallies in New York and LA and Chicago, in Texas and Louisiana and Florida and the Heartland. This is a movement of millions of people all over this country who believe in our Constitution, who believe in American freedom, and who are not going to let Donald Trump turn this country into a monarchy. Yeah, that's right. The president and his MAGA friends have been saying that we're here today because we hate America. They don't understand us, and they don't understand America. They hate what makes America great. Think about it. Speaker Johnson in the White House and MAGA world have attacked the millions of Americans attending No Kings rallies today for blatantly exercising our First Amendment rights. They don't get it at all. And what has your response been? RSVPs to these rallies doubled when they started those attacks. So thank all of you. And why did they double? Because we love America. all of the moms and dads and vets and unicorns and frogs and everybody who came out today came out because they love America. We hate Donald Trump's attempts to be a dictator, but we love America. We hate the cruelty and terror that Donald Trump and Stephen Miller have unleashed on our communities with masked men and armed troops, but we love America. We hate the Republicans' plan to gut the Voting Rights Act and silence American voices with gerrymandering, but we love America. We hate Donald Trump's assault on the First Amendment and anyone who criticizes him, but we love America. We hate Donald Trump's trade wars and the economic hardship his tariffs have caused, but we love America. We hate Republicans pandering to billionaires at the expense of working people who can't afford groceries, but we love America. We hate that Mike Johnson is so afraid of Donald Trump that he won't allow a vote to release the Epstein files. But we love America. And we hate that Donald Trump and congressional Republicans would rather shut down the whole damn government than find a solution to the healthcare crisis that they caused with their Medicaid cuts and their refusal to extend the ACA tax credits, because we love America. So, to those in the White House and Congress who do not understand, we say loud and clear, we love America. We love the America that our founders envisioned in the Declaration of Independence written right up the street. The America enshrined in our Constitution, the America that Abraham Lincoln fought to preserve, the America that our soldiers have given their lives for, the America that MLK envisioned, the America that the Metropolitan and Capitol Police defended on January 6th, and the America where our leaders strive to form a more perfect union and not a culture of corruption and chaos. That is the America that we love and the America we are here today to honor. So, now for the question that I hear every day, what can we do? Okay? So my colleagues and I are going to keep fighting in Congress to call out the lies, to offer alternatives to the MAGA madness, to try to persuade our Republican colleagues to do their jobs and to break from the MAGA madness and protect and preserve our Constitution. And if they won't, we will do everything we can to help their constituents replace them. So I am asking you to do exactly what you've done today in every way that you can, to stand up, to speak out, to refuse to normalize a country where the president sends masked men and armed troops in our neighborhoods, where he attacks the free press and courts, and where he substitutes his own greed and thirst for power for our democracy. Please don't look away. This is still our republic, and it's up to us to defend it, and that time is now. So as others have said, our big ask is that you vote in every election, at least twice a year. Voter registration for the upcoming November election ends on Monday, the 20th. So if you're not sure about your registration, check it. You can do it online. We've heard a lot about the president gerrymandering Texas and other Republican-controlled states to try to cement a permanent Republican majority. But it is important that we realize we have a gerrymandering crisis right here in Pennsylvania in our Supreme Court elections this November. Millions of dollars of dark money have been dumped on our judicial election to try to remove the justices who overturned the Republicans' gerrymandered maps in 2018. So this is a reminder to vote yes, to retain those justices who are fighting for us, who will fight for fair elections, fight for reproductive health, fight for fair funding for our schools. So I just want to thank you. You are such a sight for sore eyes here today. I was in Havertown earlier, thousands of people all across our cities, our towns, across this area and across the country today. It's so important. You and your peaceful, patriotic protests are why the White House and congressional Republicans are freaking out today. Bullies always underestimate the goodness and the resolve of the American people. It scares them to see a bunch of regular people and a few frogs and chickens taking to the streets to exercise their right to object to an authoritarian administration. And it should scare them, because that's the America we stand for, one that understands and always strives to form a more perfect union, that we must stand up to injustice, that we must stand for the common good and against corruption and chaos. So I am so grateful to all of you for gathering here in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection here at Independence Hall to peacefully reaffirm our commitment to the bold American experiment, a government by the people, for the people, of the people, and one that proudly declares no kings. No kings. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Cool. All right. Thank you. All right. Look at this crowd. We're basically like we were a while ago. Thank you all for being here. This is phenomenal. And y'all are staying. Thank you. All right. Our next speaker you may not have heard of. Her name is Maggie Bahara. She is the director. All right. Some of you have heard of her. She is the director of We Are America March. Along with community organizing, she is a writer and mother of 2 young children. She created the 160-mile march that started right here and went to Washington, D.C. a couple of months ago as a way to raise awareness about the importance of the U.S. Constitution. Not a small thing. They carried a large Constitution for the whole distance over 2 weeks, and a core group of 40 marchers from 15 states participated, going on foot carrying a giant copy of the Constitution to D.C. The group included more than 37 partner organizations and churches. She is an amazing organizer, and she's here to tell you how it went. Maggie. Well, she's also gritty.
Hello, Philadelphia. Hey. Thank you to our No Kings organizers for mobilizing a passionate crowd and sharing your platform today. The White House is trying to redefine the word America. Instead of freedom, justice, and community, they say America means we need to fear each other and bow to a king. But you guys, we're Philly. We know that America means no kings. Yeah. The U.S. Constitution was written and ratified right here. And over the last 250 years, America has grown to mean everybody. It's our nation's greatest achievement. I am America. You are America. We are all America. All right, so I'm Maggie, and I'm the director of the We Are America March. Last month, we marched 160 miles from right here at Independence Hall to the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Yeah, it was a long walk. We carried a copy of the Constitution transcribed by children from all over the country, and we handed it to our representatives. For 2 weeks, our marchers walked 15 miles daily ate together, slept on church floors, and connected with communities from cities to countryside and everywhere in between. With every step on this pilgrimage, our marchers demonstrated true American traits: hard work, commitment, and the bravery to step up and sacrifice for a greater good. Yeah. Over 400 people participated in the We Are America March. Hundreds more lodged, fed, and supported our marchers. But the We Are America March was barely reported by either national or local news. Yeah, that means you, Philadelphia Inquirer. Nah. So let me tell you about it. We hailed from all over the country: Minnesota, Texas, Idaho, California, Illinois, Massachusetts, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Oregon, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Washington, and let's not forget Pennsylvania. Our youngest marcher, a high school junior, was 16. Our oldest marcher was 80. She brought her prayer scarf, and this was her very first march. Yeah. We marched on main streets through small towns, on highway shoulders beside barreling tractor trailers, on city sidewalks where our elected officials are too scared to travel. Shout out to Baltimore. We marched past our community centers, our schools, a whole lot of gas stations and Wawas, past our churches and our homes. Every evening, we spent time with local community groups at a Quaker meeting house outside of Philadelphia, a concert and camping with local activists in Cecil County, Maryland, a flotilla to the American Legion Hall in Havre de Grace. Our marchers broke bread with pastors, rabbis, authors, veterans, immigration lawyers, and tomato farmers. We traveled to honks, cheers, banging pots and pans, thank yous, and y'all are heroes. With every mile, we found a country united, resilient, and yearning for connection and community. People said how lucky we were to find so many folks willing to host events, donate food, and even take marchers into their homes. But this was not luck. Americans who value honesty, education, equality, diversity, freedom of speech, science, bodily autonomy, plain old compassion, and empathy, we are everywhere. This march proved that we are not alone. We are a community larger than you can imagine, and our resistance runs deep. Instead of standing against something, we stand for something, for community, for the Constitution, for each other, and for America. Some people claim we are here today because we, quote, hate America. This could not be further from the truth. We are reclaiming what it means to be American. We will not be a country built on exclusion, but a country of transformation. We are teachers, farmers, CFOs, Uber drivers, and stay-at-home moms like me. We are Indigenous, Asian, Black, white, brown. We speak hundreds of languages. We worship in churches, temples, mosques, synagogues, in forests, classrooms, in hospitals, and in soup kitchens. We are untranslatable. We are untamable. We are large. We contain multitudes. You contain multitudes. America will not be defined by who we cast aside, because America resists definition. What we are fighting is terrifying and feels hopeless at times. Yet our resistance must hold joy, humor, friendship, and compassion, or else it will be unsustainable. This is how We Are America builds resistance. Does this sound like a movement that could bring you connection, energy, and hope? Well, I hope so, because we're marching again this April. We need you, because no one is coming to save us. Look at the person next to you, in front of you, and behind you. The solution is our power in unity with the people around us and with brave Americans all across the country. Seize that power, celebrate it, declare with every step what America really is. Okay. So this is how we start a We Are America march. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what community looks like. Show me what resistance looks like. And then I say, who is America? You say, we are America. Who is America? We are. Who is America? You say, Philly is America. Who is America? Okay, now it's going to be you are America. Who is America? You are America. March, march, march.
All right. So our next speaker, hold on, I got to change pages. Our next speaker is Kadita Kenner. Many of you know her. She is the founding chief executive officer of the New Pennsylvania Project. She is a tireless advocate for social and economic justice issues and is motivated to empower and excite the electorate to enthusiastically vote. She is going to talk to you about what the stakes are in this year's election and how you can get involved, and that you need to, as I mentioned before, it's not up there, vote yes on November 4th. Kadita.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How y'all doing? All right. Angelic troublemakers, how are we doing today? Are we ready to get into some good trouble? Some good necessary trouble. The great John Lewis reminds us that the most powerful nonviolent change agent that we have in a democratic society is the vote. How many of you are ready to vote this November 4th? All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because our voting rights are under attack. We understand that? There are 1.5 million Pennsylvanians who are eligible to vote but not registered in this moment. That's a lot of Pennsylvanians. That number goes up to 2 million when you account for those who are about to be dropped off the voter rolls due to inactivity. That's a lot of people. And I guarantee you all standing here today, someone in your life has no idea there is an election this November 4th. You are all going to be deputized today, and I hope you take this message back to your families and your communities. Encourage people to vote. We have only until Monday at 11:59 p.m. to register to vote. Monday, October 20th, you have to register to vote in order to vote in this November 4th election. Who's all registered to vote? Well, that's great to hear, because here's an alarming statistic. Only 1 in 4 high school students of voting age are actually registered to vote in Pennsylvania. 1 in 4. And in the city of Philadelphia, that number is 15%. We must encourage young people to get registered to vote to ensure future voting. We cannot lose generation of voters. And as an organization, New Pennsylvania Project, we don't shade or shame young people for not being registered in this moment, because look what they've been seeing the last 8 years. Chaos. And when we talk to them and ask them, what's keeping you from getting registered to vote? They say, I'm not into politics. Well, we say politics are into you. And the most powerful nonviolent change agent we have in a democratic society is the vote. That's how you bring about change. That's how we bring about change. I want to say this to anyone joining us today or have loved ones who are formerly incarcerated. In Pennsylvania, the formerly incarcerated, your rights are restored the moment your feet hit the street. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're not eligible to vote when your feet are on the street in Pennsylvania. And I'll also say that those are currently incarcerated due to misdemeanors, they are also eligible to vote right now. And if you're incarcerated awaiting a conviction, you're also eligible to vote. I have to say this because Pennsylvania, we incarcerate a lot of people. And that takes them out of the voter rolls if they've been lied to and told they're not eligible to vote when they are. So tell someone in your life, if your feet are on the street, you're eligible to vote. All right, I'm here to talk about this really important election this November 4th. You all heard about the Pennsylvania Supreme Court elections? All right, let me get a show of hands here. How many of you are in love with the United States Supreme Court right now? Anybody in love with the United States Supreme Court? Don't get that twisted with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They are very different. They are very different bodies and behaving very differently in this moment. I want you all to know, Pennsylvania, you are very powerful. Pennsylvania voters are very powerful. We are one of only 7 states in the entire country. We get to elect every single one of our judges and justices in partisan elections. That makes us powerful. How many of you have been voting for 20 years in Pennsylvania? You've had the opportunity to put all 31 appellate court judges on the bench. You've had that power. And we must use that power this November 4th or before if voting by mail, because that's still legal no matter how they try. You need to make sure you go out and vote in this upcoming election. We have 3 Supreme Court justices who were elected in 2015 who are standing for retention. They are asking you for another 10 years. And this is what's at stake. This Supreme Court that we have on the bench, they've ensured that we equitably fund public education. Because if you're not aware, Pennsylvania, we currently fund public education according to property tax. And that is super unfair. And it says so in the Pennsylvania Constitution. Because the Pennsylvania Constitution says we are guaranteed a thorough and efficient public education. Our Pennsylvania Constitution also says that we are guaranteed clean air, pure water, and a scenic environment. Our Pennsylvania Constitution also says that we must have free and fair elections. And that is what the Pennsylvania Supreme Court justices have been up to these last 10 years. Now, I want to lift up 2 things. I want to lift up what the Supreme Court has done as it relates to our voting rights. In 2020, the entire world was waiting on Pennsylvania and our election results. Do you remember that? They were waiting on us. And in 2020, there was an attack on those who cast provisional ballots. And it was the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that threw out any attempt to stop someone's provisional ballot from counting, and we know how the 2020 election turned out. There have been many attempts to attack our Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They tried to impeach them in 2018. That didn't work. Then in 2019 through 2021, they tried to change the way we as powerful voters get to vote for them. That didn't work. And then on New Year's Eve last year, with the funding of Elon Musk, and now funded by Jeffrey Yaz, Pennsylvania's richest billionaire, they are trying to stop the retention of 3 standing Supreme Court justices. This is historic. It has never happened before. And we are not going to let billionaires have more access to the ballot than we do. It is the people over billionaires. Every day of the week, it is people over billionaires. So, they couldn't impeach them. They couldn't change the way we vote for them. And now they've launched an anti-retention campaign full of lies. How many of you received a lie in your mailbox in the last couple of weeks? Please don't be confused. That gerrymandered legislative map that was ruled one of the most gerrymandered in the country was created by legislators in Harrisburg, not by the courts. Not by the courts. And so as I leave you today, I want to encourage all of you to vote. So many people have no idea there is an election this November 4th. They just don't know. Please talk to everyone. Can I get a commitment? Will you talk to someone in your life and tell them there's an election on November 4th? And the New Pennsylvania Project, as a voting rights organization, we are going to be out there knocking on doors. And on election day, we will be outside of precincts. And here's a volunteer opportunity for some of you who would like to join. You can text PA Courts to 30403. Text PA Courts to 30403 to volunteer. Or who needs $299? Anybody who needs $299? Text it there and get paid for the day as well. All right? The last thing I'll say is, go Birds. Go vote. Go Birds. Go vote. Go Birds. Go vote. Go Birds. Go vote. Go vote.
Hey, everybody. This is a phenomenal crowd. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Everybody all the way over here, all the way around here. Unbelievable. This is awesome. I will introduce to you now the West Philly No Kings Band. All right.
got stairs to walk down. There's stairs. I'm not gonna play.
Weren't they great? They also, when they're configured a little differently, are called the West Philly Orchestra. They're phenomenal if you've heard of them, just tremendous. All right, our next speaker is Dr. Ayla Stanford. If you don't know the name, you know probably what she did. Back during COVID, well, she is a pediatric surgeon, and back during COVID, she created the Black Doctors Coalition. See, I knew you would know that. That's right. That's right. Enormously important for Black communities in this city and in the area. Hugely important during the beginning time when vaccines were first being distributed. Dr. Ayla Stanford, sorry, I'm going to skip all my remarks because she wants to go and because we're running long. Not her fault, my fault. Anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Stanford. Sorry, I messed it up.
No. What's up, Philly? Come on, let's keep that energy. What's up, Philly? All right. My name, you heard, is Ayla Stanford. I'm the founder of the Black Doctors Consortium and Center for Health Equity in North Philadelphia. If you love Philly, make some noise. If you love America, make some noise. If you love your freedom, let me hear it. Now listen, I am not a politician, but what I am is a community organizer, I am a business owner, I am a doctor, and I know how to get things done. Every day, at 21st and Lehigh, I see people fighting to stay healthy, for care for their families with dignity. And I see the pain that Donald Trump is inflicting on their lives. At a time when we should be lifting people up, he is trying to tear us down, treating us like subjects and not citizens. That didn't fly 250 years ago in Philadelphia, and it sure won't fly today. And that's why we're here, because we have had enough. Can we say it again? We have had enough. We have had enough of Donald Trump taking away health care from people who need it most. Enough of cuts to science and education. Enough of cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. Enough of cruelty to people who make this city strong, and enough is enough. Enough is enough. I was born at Broad and Olney. I was raised at 18th and Erie. So let me tell you, Philadelphia does not bow down to bullies. Not in North Philly, not in West Philly, not in South, not in Northeast, not in Mount Airy, not in Chestnut Hill, not in Germantown, not anywhere in this city, my city, because our city is too strong and too proud and too united. During the pandemic, when Donald Trump turned his back on Philadelphia, I did not wait for him to save us. We took care of one another. We built clinics. We knocked on doors. We brought care to the people. And because of that, we saved lives. That wasn't luck. That was leadership. That was love. That was us. All of us taking care of one another. We didn't need a king. We needed each other. And as we've said in this city, we're all we got and we're all we need. Can we say it again? We're all we got and we're all we need. Now the wannabe king is back, talking about sending military into our neighborhoods, and we say no. Talking about cutting our health care, and we say no. Giving tax breaks to billionaires, and we say no. Dividing our country, but hear me clearly. We will not be divided. We are not going to let him take over our courts, and you heard it, November 4th. Get out and vote. We are not going to let him take over our communities. We will not allow him to take over our country. We are going to do what Philadelphia always does. We're going to stand up, we're going to stand strong, and we're going to stand together. Because here in Philly, we believe in people, not kings. No kings. Enough is enough. No kings. Go vote. Go Birds. I'm Dr. Ayla Stanford. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Councilman Nicholas O'Rourke. So in 2023, he was elected to a minority seat alongside incumbent Kendra Brooks as a member of the Working Families Party to City Council. This caused Republicans to not have any at-large seats in City Council for the first time since 1952, when the current system was established. He is also a pastor in the city. Councilmember O'Rourke, thank you. Trying to keep these short. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tell me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Now all the free people make some noise. Let me begin by thanking every single one of you for making your way here today, for standing together with each other these many hours, and for standing up for each other against this autocratic administration's attack on our country. Clap your hands for yourself for those that are still here today. Before I talk about that attack that we're experiencing on our country, before I get into that, I want to lift up the name of Tamia Gordon, a young woman at Dell State student who was taken from us just a couple of weeks ago in a senseless act of accidental gun violence. Tamia was planning to attend today's event as her first protest. May her memory be a blessing. And let's lift her spirit up today, if you'll join me in just a moment of silence. Thank you. So, we're standing with each other and for each other against this attack, this authoritarian attack, this autocratic attack on our country. And I mean exactly what I say. It is an attack. It's extremely important to be very clear in spaces like this, where many of us may fall along many places on the political spectrum. All of us don't have the same ideas. We, the people, are legitimately facing down the challenge of defending our society from an out-and-out authoritarian fascist regime. As was said, my name is Nicholas O'Rourke. I'm a minister of church and state, pastor of the Living Water United Church of Christ, and a member of the Council of the City of Philadelphia, and a proud member of the Working Families Party. I'm grateful to be here with you today because this is necessary, a necessary reminder of what democracy looks like and what democracy has to look like at times. You ought to know, when it comes to our democracy, I'm not your America was always great kind of guy. That ain't me, because it ain't true. I've read a bit too much history for that. I actually paid attention in school. I heard my parents and my grandparents when they shared with me their lived experiences in this country, and I'm old enough to have experiences of my own. So I think that view overlooks the actual sacrifices and the literal war that it took to reach a democracy with access to open ballot. And for that sort of sobriety, that clarity about this, the Trump talking points today, as many of you know, have been to call us the Hate America crowd. But like James Baldwin said, I'm clear. I love America more than any other country in this world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. Do I have a witness out here today? And because of that clarity, there's always a place for hope with me and plenty of faith when we think about the road ahead. Do I have any company out here that know that faith without works is dead? So this is a moment, challenging and daunting as it is, for active work to build up our democracy. Active. To act in ways that renew our belief in our liberties, both as individuals and with the mind for how these rights we hold dear connect all of us. And we need to act, not now, but right now. You may not have peeped it yet, but we're in our second Gilded Age. We've got to think big time about inequality in wealth, in power, in organization. This is the moment to be building the kind of politics we need to defeat Trumpism. Not just Trump, but Trumpism. For what comes next, we cannot afford to feel or be like the politics that brought us to this point in the first place. We have so much to be honest with ourselves about, so much to learn from our history, but we've also got to step out on faith, as they say. We literally cannot afford the status quo, and we've got to act like it. Just look at what the status quo has afforded us. An economy being kept afloat by the top 20% of consumers, while we, the other 80%, is just trying to keep up with inflation. Too often unable to do so. Do I have a witness? We have the makings of a federal police force, unprecedented use of the National Guard, unprecedented intrusion, flatly lying about crime levels in all the cities with black folks in charge. ICE is causing chaos in our streets, on top of apartment buildings, in and outside of courthouses. We're in a constitutional crisis, plain as day, when Congress doesn't direct the funding of our government, when words laid out in our constitutions that conservatives used to defend are now just words on paper that they're willing to wipe their ass with. Do I have a witness? And we have these dangerously expensive elections that cost millions and billions of dollars, with too much of it spent on what amounts to civic subterfuge. Let me give you an example. We got a Supreme Court retention election. We've talked about it today. Are you going to vote for that today? It's about to go down, tremendously important to the kind of commonwealth we live in. And in such an important election, MAGA-aligned billionaires are spending tons of money on methods to misinform the people. Jeffrey Yes. Somebody say Jeff Yes. Say Jeff Yes. Jeff Yass is a kind of billionaire, a glaring example of why we need to end tax uniformity in PA. It's funding PACs that send out misinformation mailers, like misinformation memes on social media. One of them stated that the judges on the ballot approved gerrymandered redistricting maps when in reality they overturned them. They are lying on purpose. Listen, I don't like the right-wing agenda anyhow, but when blatant lying is an electoral tactic backed by billionaire dollars, that is a fundamental problem for our republic, no matter where you stand on the political spectrum. Do I have any company here? So what are we going to do? What must we do? We've got to vote. That should be a given, always and in every single election. But voting is the last thing that you do in the cycle of a functioning democracy. It's the final act in all the things that we got to do. What must we do on the days between the upcoming election and the next one and the election day after that? We have to stand our ground and educate each other so that none of us are left in the dark. We need to pay attention to the facts and refuse to let lies go unchecked. We can't let ourselves be fooled by the big money that broadcasts those lies or the social media pages that perpetuate them. And if God can't use no coward soldier, neither can we. Together we have to be bold. We have to move different. We have to organize more fiercely and more broadly than we ever have before. Now let me just say this and be done. A lot of the changes that you may see, that you may want to see nationally, need to be built on strong, coordinated local movements and organizations first. I'm going to say it again. A lot of the changes that you may want to see happen nationally must to. It's essential that they are built on strong, coordinated local movements and organizations first. Movements for labor rights, movements for migrant justice, for economic justice, against poverty, for our queer siblings, for racial justice, for ecological care, and whatever else I didn't name, it's all got to be built on that. It cannot just be you and the political junkies in your life. It can't just be you and your unreflected partisan allegiances. We are past that time. We have to be growing with people who don't feel like a part of the process, because we all have something to defend in these trying times. Do I have a witness today? When billionaires try to buy elections, when corporations twist the truth, when the powerful try to silence us, we will remind them we have no kings, but we have each other. And we, the free people of these yet to be United States of America, will by damn make a difference. And what a time to make one. Song says, oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried deep in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried deep in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Let the free people make some noise. Let the free people make some noise. I invite you to text PA Courts, that's PA Courts, to 30403. Text PA Courts to 30403 to take the next step here in Pennsylvania. And don't forget to vote yes on November 4th to defend our pro-working class state Supreme Court. We've got to step out on faith, and we've got to walk in our power. Thank you for having me. Glory to God. All power to all the people.
I certainly am not worthy to follow that. My goodness. All right, my goodness. Thank you, Councilmember O'Rourke. Our next speaker is Richard Giannetti, American Federation of Government Employees. He's your person. That's excellent. AFGE represents over 820,000 workers in nearly every agency of the federal and DC governments across 900 local unions. Members are nurses, correctional officers, doctors, Social Security professionals, TSA agents, law enforcement officers, park rangers, and so much more, who are having a lot of trouble right now and need our support. Rich, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I want to thank my brothers and sisters that have come before me, Danny Bowder. I want to thank the congressmen that were here. We have some dear friends in Congress that stand with us. I'm proud that all of them were here today. From Philadelphia, Congressman Boyle, Mary Gay Scanlon, Congressman Dean. They've been great friends of federal employees, and they're great public servants. It's a great honor to be here to speak to you about the great love of my life, which is not my wife, although she thinks she is. It is fighting for the dignity of working people. I am not, by the way, I am not a musical act. There is no music coming. The very special people who comprise the federal service, the people who have given their lives to public service. They do all sorts of things. Many of them you know, and many of them you don't know. But their jobs were created 142 years ago with the Pendleton Act. And they have worked tirelessly since then to provide important services that the American people want, that Congress has authorized and paid for. And who is this guy who's destroying all those jobs? He has no right to do that. The president has no right to do that. He's supposed to faithfully execute the laws. That doesn't mean kill them. It means carry them out. He doesn't have the right. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the authority to do these things. If he wants to change the law, you go to Congress and Congress changes the law. If you don't have the votes, you wait until you get them. But the president and Mr. Vote, his OPM director, they don't have the authority to send 700,000 people home and tell them you're not going to work, or make 700,000 other people work without pay. Can you believe it? I thought we got rid of indentured servitude with the 15th Amendment and the shutdown. Bring the workers back. They have important work to do. 250,000 federal employees have left service since the beginning of this year. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't commit any ethical violations. They didn't perform badly. They were sent home because somebody doesn't like their job. Well, guess what? America likes their job. Let's tell them now. We want the federal workers back in their jobs. And by the way, Congress, you can come back anytime. Let's tell Mike Johnson, hey, get Congress back. Vote Ms. Grijalva back in her, vote the congressman from Arizona, Grijalva, back into her job when she got elected. How dare he sit home for 5 weeks and not let Congress work? How dare he send federal workers home? They love their jobs. They've devoted their lives to these jobs. My father was a federal employee for 30 years. He talked about nothing else. My brother was a federal employee for 30 years. I was a federal employee for 10 years until the union hired me to represent them and protect their rights to the workplace. Let me tell you what federal employees do. Give you a couple examples. CDC fights the spread of disease. Department of Education helps families of handicapped children get a good education without going broke. The Department of Labor protects worker safety in the workplace, enforces pay and wage laws, preventing workers from being cheated out of their fair and rightful wages. The Social Security Administration, where I worked, prevents poverty among America's elderly and disabled. We put $70 billion into the economy every month, keeping this economy going. National Park Service, who work here, my brothers and sisters here who are idle, they protect these historic buildings and they tell the story of America. The country created the civil service 140 years ago after the Civil War because handing out government contracts through congressional offices and through senators' offices created tremendous corruption, tremendous waste. So they created a career, permanent civil service where people can decide to come and work for their brothers and sisters. Now, federal workers don't want praise. They want to do their job. They love their job. They're proud of their role in the community. Many of them do other jobs outside of being a federal employee. They're your church organist. They're the coach of your soccer team. They're the people who serve on your board of supervisors, or they serve on your board of zoning like I do in Middletown Township. They have all kinds of jobs. They're members of our community. They help us. They're our friends. They're our uncles. They're our neighbors. They're being treated shamefully. How dare we ask them to come to work without pay? How dare we ask them to spend their money coming to work and struggling to make payments on their mortgages and putting food on the table? They're doing the public's work, and yet they're being treated shamefully. End the shutdown. Bring them back. And don't end the shutdown just by passing a clean CR, because that's BS. We want the health care money back in the budget. We want the Affordable Care Act subsidies back in place. We don't want millions of Americans to lose their health care. The Social Security Administration and the Health and Human Services, they provide, the CMS, they provide Social Security services, and we want them to be provided to every American the way Congress intended. This president has taken power away from Congress, and he has no right to, and this Congress has let him. Shame on the Republican Congress that has let this president rip powers away that are provided to the Congress only. The power to make taxes, the power to spend money. When Congress tells you how money is to be spent, you're supposed to do it, Mr. President, not make up your own damn mind. Don't bail out Argentina, bail out America. Give us that $40 billion. Put it back in health care. Federal employees don't just get a job. They take competitive exams, undergo background checks, competitive interviews among similarly qualified candidates to get hired. They also survive a year-long probationary period every time they take a new position. Many have devoted their entire working lives. 1 out of 3 will be a federal employee their entire life. 1 out of 3 is a veteran who previously served in our national defense. They're very special people, and they show it to us every day. Going to work, 700,000 of them now are going to work every day without pay. Air traffic controllers, people at the TSA at the airport, they're protecting us every day without any money. This is cruel, this is wrong, this is not what America's about. They're people of great faith and determination. To the young people in the audience, if you want an example of dedication and service, loyalty and love of country, look no further than your fathers and mothers and aunts and uncles and older siblings who work for the federal government. It's getting windy out here. Let me tell you about federal employees in closing. They will not beg, they will not fold, they will not quit. They do what they have always done, work hard for the past 142 years. They will continue to do their sacred duty. They will do the business that the American people hired them to do, the business that Congress asked them to do, the business for which they deserve to be paid. Federal employees know that their quiet, powerful acts will hasten the end of these vile haters, these fearmongers, these power-hungry fools who plague us today. There will be a better tomorrow. We will make that happen with our action today. We will make that action in ways big and small. And one of those ways is to vote yes on November 4th. To retain the judges who protect our rights. We know what to do. Through peaceful protest and collective action, through the exercise of our political and economic power, we must oppose those who hate our democratic republic and the rule of law. They have no place here. We got rid of tyrants in 1776, and we get rid of kings today. No kings. Not now, not ever. God bless America. God bless the union movement. Of injury to one is an injury to all.
All right, our next speaker is District Attorney Larry Krasner. Yes, sirree. Larry graduated from Conestoga High School in 1979, from the University of Chicago in '83, and from Stanford Law School in 1987. Then he came back to Philadelphia and became a public defender, and then a criminal defense lawyer for 30 years, specializing in civil rights. He frequently represented protesters pro bono. He was first elected to public office as DA in 2018. DA Krasner, thank you for being here.
Philadelphia, how we doing? All right, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to keep this relatively brief, I promise. And I want to thank you all for being here, for hanging in here. This has been an amazing, enormous gathering, but apparently nobody can stop you. So thank you for being here. And now I'm going to ask you to say a couple things with me. Number one, no kings. No kings. No damn kings. All right, let's try something different, and then I'll explain why. Be the light. Be the light. Bring the light. Bring the light. Now, what the heck am I talking about? All right, here's the answer. I am the District Attorney of Philadelphia. I have been blessed with the opportunity to be here at this point in time. We all know that God has a sense of humor because Donald Trump keeps saying crime is out of control when Philadelphia is setting its all-time record, or at least record for more than 50 years, for the lowest number of homicides this year. I'm just saying, I think God knew he was coming because God takes phone calls from the devil. And knowing that he was coming, God said, well, if we're going to deal with this, we might as well do it when he's the biggest liar he could possibly be. And so that's how we got here. Our president, and I say that with regret, is trying to invade big cities, big democratic cities. He's trying to invade Philadelphia eventually, and that means bringing military, paramilitary, ICE, federal agents. Simply put, what it means is corrupting the military, which he's trying to do, and he's trying hard. It means corrupting legal authority with this jacked up sideways Supreme Court and these knucklehead judges he keeps appointing. He's trying to corrupt military authority and legal authority, but there's one authority he cannot corrupt, and that is moral authority. Okay? That is moral authority. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this for the same reason I'm saying be the light, bring the light. Nobody talks about morality with Donald Trump. They talk about what is he going to get away with? What will the law allow, especially after he corrupts it? What will the military do after he corrupts it? When did we stop talking about right and wrong? When did we stop talking about moral authority? And now let me tell you why I'm talking about that. When John Lewis and a bunch of other people crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and they were greeted by state troopers who cracked heads. When that happened, most of you, maybe all of you, were not there, neither was I. I was 3 years old. But you know about it. When Rodney King got beat down in the streets of Los Angeles, most of you were not there, but you know about it. And when George Floyd was torture murdered for 9 minutes, we were not there, but you know about it. And you know about it because people brought the light. The camera on the Edmund Pettus Bridge was running long before the state troopers cracked heads. It didn't wait for those uniformed people to commit crimes, which they did, against peaceful protesters. That camera started early. Think about Rosa Parks. There's a photograph of her at the back of the bus, and 1 year later, a photograph of her at the front of the bus. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is those photographs, it is those photographers, it is those videos, it is those videographers that are inseparable from the progress of civil rights. And they are inseparable from it because when the whole world sees these images, even images without words, the people's morality is offended. They see what Gandhi referred to as the oppressor bearing its claws. That's what they see. And then the world changes. The world changes. So I'm going to ask you to help me do my job. My job as district attorney is to uphold the Constitution and laws of the United States, and I'm going to do that. And that means if ICE comes here and commits crimes, I'm going to do everything I can to have them arrested, to charge them with those crimes, to put them in front of a Philadelphia jury. And I did say a Philadelphia jury. And then we're going to let them explain to a Philadelphia jury why it's okay in the cradle of liberty to steal their rights. And I think you know exactly what a Philadelphia jury is going to do with crimes committed by ICE, by National Guard, by military or by paramilitary organizations. I think you know what they're going to do. They are going to do the right thing and find beyond a reasonable doubt those crimes were committed. And then when there's a sentence, and then when those people go to jail, guess who cannot pardon them? Let us not forget, the President of the United States has no power to pardon a state court conviction. That is why none. And that is why Donald Trump has not pardoned himself for his oh so many felonies, which he suffered because Alvin Bragg, a state court prosecutor from Manhattan, had the courage to prosecute him in state court. He can never pardon himself for those crimes, and any federal agent convicted in state court cannot be pardoned for those crimes, all right? I'm going to do that. I got no problem standing up. It's the least I can do when you think about what people did in the Civil War, in World War II. When you think about what they went through, the least thing I can do is mouth off at a microphone, all right? Or bring some papers that charge crimes or stand up in front of a jury and try to convict them. But this is where be the light, bring the light comes back to all of you. Now, if we were in church, I would say, please get out your hymnal, or please get out your Bible and turn to verse whatever, whatever, and go to hymn whatever, whatever. I'm going to ask you to do something else. I'm going to ask you to get out your phone, okay? I'm going to ask you to get out your phone, and in a minute, I'm going to ask you to turn on the light, the flashlight in your phone. In a minute, but I got to get you time to find that hymnal and find that verse in the Bible, so we'll give you a minute to do that. If we are invaded by these kinds of people, if they are trying to rob us of our democracy and our freedom, then we need to do some things. What we need to do is take video and take photographs of their activity in public spaces. And then we need to put it up on social media, on servers, etc. Why? Because we're making a record of history, the history they love to destroy. Why? Because that record is the evidence that will be needed in a courtroom, whether it is a civil courtroom or a criminal courtroom. And why? And this is the most important thing. Just as at the Edmund Pettus Bridge, just as on the bus with Rosa Parks, just as in those incidents involving Rodney King and George Floyd, the image changed everything. These videos, these photos that you are going to take, you and 1.6 million other Philadelphians are going to take these images, reach people's morality. Donald Trump may not have any, but the rest of the world does. And when they reach that morality, when we all see, as Gandhi said, the oppressor bearing its claws, that is when the world changes. That is when all the politicians are going to speak up in the right direction, because they know if they don't, they're going to be voted out. That is when you're going to see victory. It's coming, but it requires you to be the light and bring the light. All right, I'm going to get off stage in a second, but not until we all put up our phones. Hit that flashlight. I'm kind of old, so it'll take me a minute now. Thank you for that. All right, here we go. Say it with me. Be the light. Bring the light. Be the light. Bring the light. Thank you.
All right, bringing you someone who brings the light every day to a bunch of school kids. So, LaShawna Coleman from the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. She's the Chief of Staff of the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers, which represents 14,000 educators, paraprofessionals, counselors, nurses, school service workers, and others. She was raised in Philadelphia in a family of public school educators and a proud graduate of the Public School District of Philadelphia. She holds a Bachelor in Science in Early Education and Master's in Educational Psychology from Temple University. All right, Ms. Coleman, thank you so much.
Hello, Philly! Woo! My name is LaShawna Coleman. I'm a lifelong Philadelphian, a Philly public school teacher, and a proud member of the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. Look at the people you came here with, and also the people you've never seen before. Now I ask, is there anything more beautiful, more powerful than standing up for democracy? Solidarity is what you're looking at. It's what we're building by being here today, and it's what will get us through. It's how I know that we will win. Say it with me. We will win. But let me add this. We only win when we do something. When we match sentiment, whether that's anger, outrage, or empathy, to action. As our elders in the movement used to say, we must go and do. It's natural to be afraid when he is sending armed agents of the state into communities against their wishes. He's kidnapping and deporting beloved neighbors, sending secret police onto our streets. He is testing our democracy even more than he did the last time, with the complicity and support of fascist sympathizers and bootlickers in Congress and the U.S. Supreme Court. But if all that makes you start to feel helpless, don't. Go and do something. Here's an example. About a decade ago, Republicans in Harrisburg controlled the school district of Philadelphia. For 20 years, we did not have local control of our own public schools. So after starving our schools of funding and the resources Philly kids needed to thrive, these politicians decided to cancel the PFT's collective bargaining agreement. Just poof, gone. They wanted to throw out a contract setting the terms of our salaries, benefits, and working conditions, which are also our students' learning conditions. They wanted the public to blame teachers and school staff who make our public education system work every day. So what did the PFT do? We took the SRC to court. And when our lawsuit made its way to the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania in 2016, those justices on a bipartisan basis looked at the law and then told the SRC to take their BS and go, we don't do this in Pennsylvania. So we won. The SRC lost, and we won back local control of our school district. I know many of you are out here angry at the majority MAGA U.S. Supreme Court, which keeps giving Trump a get-out-of-jail-free card. But guess what? He doesn't pick the justices on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. We, the people, do. So please make sure you're registered to vote and exercise your right on November 4th. It's more important than ever to take action to protect the public services and institutions that were created to make our democracy stronger. Take public education. There's now a whole industry of anti-teacher, anti-labor demagogues all across the country that are laser focused on siphoning public funds out of our public schools and into religious and private schools. They're not even shy about it. Trump and Education Secretary Linda McMahon have outright declared war on public education, which is a declaration of war on democracy itself. But you know who stands in the way of dictators? Teachers. You know why? Because our children's future is at stake, and we won't have it. Say it with me. We won't have it. We won't have it. We won't have it. That's right, and we will win. Thank you.
All right, our last speaker is State Senator Vincent Hughes. Here he is.
All right, there you go.
He was worth waiting for.
All right, Philly, don't go nowhere. All my individual people, come on up on the stage with me. All the volunteers, all the individual people, come. The people with those beautiful lime green colored jackets, come on up here on the stage with me. Come on, y'all. Give these folks a round of applause. Come on. See, you weren't shy and bashful when you were ordering people around earlier. All right. All right, we're going to take a picture? All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Bam. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. And the orange jackets, too. There you go.
Oh, we get everybody.
That's a good question. Let me ask how many people can be on the stage.
Don't worry about it. It's good. They're going to be fine. All right, Philly. We're finished up here. You've heard all the arguments. You've heard all the conversations. You've heard all the points.
Thank you.
You've had a lot of great teachers teach the message, singing the gospel. All these teachers almost as good as your favorite teacher from Abbott Elementary, Barbara Howard. All right, I'm just saying, we know who your favorite teacher really is. And they said clearly in an argument that cannot be refuted, in data that is incontrovertible, in a history that shows that if we fight, we win. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. If we fight, we win. I wanted to bring these folks on stage because I want you to understand no one is getting paid a salary up here. None of these folks. They're all volunteers. They're all committed Americans. And you know they're Philly strong. You know they're Philly strong. You know they're Philly strong. They have organized a rally that will revolutionize this country. Every time we've gotten together, the number is bigger, the message is stronger, and the commitment is deeper. And we know that because on this day, from Independence Hall to the Constitution Center, with witness and accountability at the President's house right there, saying that we will not bow down to tyranny. Kings don't reside in this country. and that if we fight, we will win. The message right now to those who are paying attention and those who have been here through the duration. My uneducated count, we probably had about 50,000 people in this demonstration today. Part of the largest mass demonstration in the history of this country. Philly did its part. The real people in America that you see right here all across this country are doing their part. The whole world is watching. The whole world is watching. The question is, what will we do from here? The question is, as you've heard the message on November 4th, vote yes on the retention of the state Supreme Court elections. And if you need a reason, let me just give you one. Just one. The same people who are financing the overthrow of this country are the same people that's trying to tell you to vote no in the retention of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court elections. That's all you need to know. That should be all you need to know. Just go out and do it. But we fight back in a lot of ways. We fight back in rallies. We fight back in demonstrations. We fight back by voting. But we also fight back in little ways, small ways, as the worker is being underpaid. And remember, Pennsylvania has the lowest minimum wage of any state in the country. As we can fight back by making sure that those folks are treated with dignity, that they get the wages that they deserve. That's one way to fight back. As we look at that worker who clearly is working not their second shift, but their third shift, you show them some empathy. You show them some compassion. You stand up for them. You stand up in their space. You make sure that their voice is not the only voice, that their voice is not the lonely voice, that they stand in union with one another. As you see our children listen to us and in fact go to school, that you make sure you fight and donate just a little bit to that local school in that community to make sure that school has everything that it needs so those children, our children, get what it is, the education and the opportunity that they deserve. As you provide that little extra gratuity on your meal this evening or wherever you go, you fight back by adding a little bit more, because you remember that servers working in Pennsylvania are paid less than the minimum wage. They're not paid equal or more. They're paid less than the minimum wage. We show the fight back in lots of different ways. We show the pushback in lots of different ways. But we also show that we can win. And we have won over and over and over and over again in this country. The President's House, the point of accountability, has the historical framework to tell us that we can win. The President's House, the point of accountability, has watched us win over and over and over again. Brothers and sisters, as the Vice President, not the one that's currently in there, the one that should have been President of the United States of America, reminded us in that 107-day campaign, and reminds us now that if we fight, oh, y'all must not be listening to the lesson. If we fight, 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 Take this fight everywhere you go. Demonstrate, speak up, speak truth to power, but show the love and compassion that all of us need in this very dark moment. You see, I'm wearing the only acceptable shirt today that has King on it. And it's got a picture of Dr. King. All right, I'm doing the fashion thing right now, okay? I learned it from my wife, all right? All right? He told us, he taught us that is being the best of us means not what we do for ourselves, but for what we do for each other. Amen. So when we engage in this fight, make sure we lead with love, lead with compassion, lead with kindness, but lead with a determination that says we will win. We must win. We've got to win. Our children and our children's children and even theirs require us to be victorious. The world is watching. Our ancestors are watching. And I know that in the darkest moment, the sun is ready to come up. Thank you, family. Let's go win this. Let's go win this. Let's go win this. Let's go win this. You all are fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for being here. Go to indivisiblephiladelphia.com. Join us. You'll get our newsletter. You'll find out everything you can do to fight back, just like the senator said. Also join our social medias. You can see all the videos. We've had a drone videographer all day. You can see all those videos. We are Indivisible PHL on Blue Sky and YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, on Facebook, we're Indivisible Philadelphia. Go on all of those. You can see everything that happened today. We'll have everything up. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a what? Instagram, yeah. Indivisible PHL. Yes. Thank you, Patriots is right. Thank you so much.
Audience member in the front would like to thank you for supplying the interpreters.
Oh, of course.
Thank you so much for the interpreting services.
Thank you. Thank you for being grateful. No problem. Happy to do it. Happy, happy, happy. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for all your help.
This was
too.
great. Yes, of course. Sorry it went over. What's that? Yeah. Uh-huh. What would you want to do with it?